Yeah, welcome everyone to this exciting announcement. We are very happy to have you here tonight, and what you've just listened to is a beautiful piece of music written exclusively for this collaboration by composer Rachel Portman.
Yeah, and it's not a complete secret because we did reveal a lot of stuff in the keynote in December, but the time has come, and we're very, very proud to be able to release this collection to the world. It's a collection that's very important to us and a collection that's very close to our hearts. Mm-hmm. So let's watch the trailer.
And then at the end, all I've done is I've taken the bass over an extra bar, but it's all written in there, and it's all slurred, okay? Okay. Thank you. It's one of the hardest things to describe where music comes from, where ideas come from. Well, I don't think they come from me. I think they come from me listening for them or waiting for them or asking for them. I need to be in that space of concentrating and then letting go. I think of the different instruments in the orchestra as characters, and over the years, I've come to know what they can do and what they don't do so well. I think it's a musical language. It's the way I make up musical sentences. It's the way I put instruments together. It's the way I orchestrate for strings. I love working in film. It's those melodies that then combined with the film sort of create something bigger than what they are on their own.
We're very, very proud to announce Tides by Rachel Portman. This is a complete chamber orchestra, some beautiful expressive strings supported by a very wide and colourful cast of character instruments. Things like a soprano saxophone, a mandolin, a dulcimer, an accordion. Very, very idiosyncratic, very unusual, but very expressive instruments. Now, Tides is going to be really, really useful for any time, any music that you're writing outside of mainstream cinema. Any project that you might call art house or indie cinema, or really any time you want to write very emotional, very expressive music. When you want to tug at the heartstrings, or just kind of hit people at the gut level on an emotional level. Tides will be a great collection for you to work with. So rather than talk about these instruments, we want to play them to you. And that's what we're sitting here at the keyboard to do.
Yeah, so before I start to showcase you some of the instruments, I might say, please check out the walkthrough where you find all the instruments be covered, as well as the audio demos on the product page. With this project, we really tried to create something truly beautiful. And what I mean by that is to capture the instruments in the most expressive and emotional ways. The goal of Tides is for all the instruments that we capture there, that when you play in melodies, that these kind of melodies are sing for instantly. And this is something that is still not solved with most of the sample collections out there. And this is what we try to solve with Tides. And yeah, now let's dive into the collection to check out the different areas of it. First of all, we have the chamber strings, which gives you a 6-piece violin section, a viola section with 4 players, a cello section with 4 players, and a solo bass, which is the perfect size also to transport this kind of expression that we wish for this collection to be. The chamber strings are accompanied by solo strings. We have a solo violin as well as a solo cello, and yeah, what Graham already mentioned, the colorful soloists, and it covers the standard orchestral instruments, especially on the woodwind side, like with a flute, alto flute. We have an oboe, cor anglais, clarinet, bassoon. But then we also dive into a little bit more colorful, interesting additional instruments that we put into this ensemble with the musette, with the soprano sax, with an acoustic guitar, a mandolin, a dulcimer, and some brass with a solo horn, a solo trombone, and yeah, an emotional grand piano that we captured at Heldex. Let's start with the strings, with the violin section first, and the lyrical legato. Yeah, so beautiful expression and specifically made for this kind of singing melodies. Beside the lyrical sustains, you will also find a beautiful short notes like the portatos. We have some staccatos, pizzicatos, tremolos, some very beautiful harmonics. We also recorded some very nice rhythms that you can play with your own harmonies, which is a real help when you create emotive cues. And you can also change to different kind of rhythms. So this is another one. And also the nice thing with these kind of rhythms, it's not just also a fast writing tool that you can use to write beautiful string arrangements that you can accompany with beautiful legatos on top. These are just quarter notes, also very useful to have at hand.
How did you select the patterns themselves? Were they taken from Rachel's music?
Yeah, so it's definitely inspired also by how Rachel writes, and especially arranges for strings underneath the main melodies. But it's also like some of them are very basic, and you can push them into multiple directions by just the way how you play them, where you restart, re-trigger them.
This sounds more realistic because it's an actual performance, right? So you're capturing something that carries the performance and the player with it.
I mean, this is the idea behind this entire collection, to have the things like breathing and in these kind of rhythms you have this quality.
Right. Yeah.
Now let's switch to the staccatos. They have a very airy and lively character. By the way, all the articulations are consistent across the different kind of string sections that we have here. So I won't show you everything with all the instruments, but yeah, let's have a listen to the violas.
That is very expressive. Did we sample these things in a different way to the way we normally do it?
The legato transitions that we captured are very, very long. And goal with this is like to capture all the expression that comes into the target note. Because there you have like the vibrato developing. You can compare it with the Berlin solo strings that we did. That was kind of the first collection where we tried this approach of capturing the transitions in a longer time, but we also took care about the expression itself, so the style of vibrato the players put into, and also we had some example scores and melodies to get all the musicians into this mood.
Yeah, and you mentioned before that the articulations are consistent, so the synced rhythms and the measured trills up and down
Absolutely
are the same here, right, as
Yeah.
the violins.
So you have this very fluffy sound, which brass on its own already. It's beautiful.
Very nice.
But here, by the way, we also recorded the measured trills. You probably noticed from many other collections that we have, this is super helpful. And we got so much feedback from our users that really the people like this kind of measured trills to use. And this time we did not only do this as the we also did this the other way around. So up and down, and therefore you can really create interlocked harmonies with the two of them, with the measured trills up and down. And these are also synced to the host tempo. And when you look at so many scores of film music, you have those kind of measured trills quite often, where you have the strings like da 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 da, breaking up the harmonies, and then you know, the melody on top.
There are a choice of trills too. It's not just a semitone trill every time, right?
No, we have up to a fourth interval. Yeah. So you can also select them by SCC to change them between different intervals. Yeah.
Very cool. And it's the same for the cellos, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's have a listen to the cellos as well. So it's beautiful to have this kind of cello melodies in your string arrangements. And this together with the measured trills or the synced rhythms that we have, it's super intuitive to write nice string arrangements with this kind of box.
Just listening to it now, there's a lot of expression there, but it's not too much.
Yeah.
There's a certain reserve, which I think is very, very pleasing.
What you can also hear in Rachel's music, right? It's never too much. It's like the perfect balance. And I've been also for for one of her recording sessions at Haldex, and she wrote the soundtrack for a movie. It's about the Second World War with a Jewish family, tragedy, drama kind of story, and her music was super touching. And she's recording this at Haldex, and the way how she writes those emotional moments is always like finding the right, the right sweet spot and not being too much of it. Yeah, and here we also have, for example, the synced rhythms. Then let's probably also listen to some of the solo strings, the solo cello, for example, when we're just talking about cellos, yeah. Yeah, now let's dive into the soloists. One of my favorites is the flute.
Very lifelike.
So you can really hear how the instrument sings whatever you play. It's amazingly fluid. Yeah.
And these called lyrical sustains, not just regular sustains, right?
No, it's a lyrical sustain, but this is, we call it that way because we captured the vibrato and the expression in a certain style, and it also comes with just a single dynamic layer. So it sounds in first place a little limiting, but when you play it, it feels very agile. So you can even play faster things. So it works quite well. So we still have this kind of adaptive legato approach here included as well, which changes the legato settings on the fly based on your playing speed.
Very cool. Very, very nice.
Yeah, let's dig into another of the solo instruments. So probably the solo oboe. Now let's load in some of the more colorful instruments with the soprano sax. And for this one, we also have the lyrical legato.
That's quite a warm, dark soprano sax too, right?
It's really unusual, right?
Yeah.
So because you more kind of expect this kind of oboe sound,
Yeah.
and then you get this kind of slightly jazzy thing, but combined this with the strings and with the more regular orchestral woodwinds becomes a very interesting additional color.
Yeah. And you could hear the scoring stage of Teldex is also doing its magic on the sound, I think.
Yeah, we also put these kind of instruments all in situ within the room, like with all the other instruments. And this is kind of an interesting sound too, because mostly when you have these kind of instruments, it's really solistic and you have them in front of or in a closed booth, in a closed studio. But this one really integrates into the orchestral sound.
So it's like the stereo imaging, if you don't even fiddle with the mixer, should be about right.
Absolutely, yeah. It really integrates into your orchestration. Now let's load the dulcimer, and the dulcimer is super nice instrument to have in combination with the other ones, because it has this quality of resonating strings as you play them with the hammers, and all the rest of the strings are not muted, and therefore it has this very harmonic kind of sound. So let's have a listen. Yeah, beside that, we also captured some brass. So let's have a listen to the solo horn, which again also comes with the lyrical legato. Again, here the idea to really let the instruments sing. And beside that, also for these rhythms are very nice.
So this is definitely a very unusual collection of instruments, and this instrument selection was designed by Rachel, correct?
Yeah, it's curated with Rachel together, and the idea was really to capture this entire aura or this entire vibe, also that she also transfers in her music, and to get this into some playable, lovable instruments. Yeah.
How did the collaboration come about? Did we go to Rachel or did she come to us?
This was a dream of mine that I had for a longer time, and I was discussing with Mark, who was reaching out to her to see like if there are some possibilities. And as she's a big fan also of Arvo Pärt, and we were there for Salu at the Arvo Pärt Center, and also for the collection we did together with Peter Vasks. This somehow were kind of a door opener to us, because her music is not a typical kind of film music that you would expect with, you know, a large French horn section and big brass and loud. It's more subtle, it's the more quieter notes, and therefore I think there was some kind of mutual respect from the beginning when we met here at home in London. And it was a very kind first encounter that we had with her. Rachel is not the type of composer who writes with computers and sample libraries, but somehow he has some connection to it, and she was pretty much also interested, like when we presented her like how it could sound, we shared some collections so that she can try it out, and we talk quite a lot about sound, and I think this was our mutual foundation to the art of recording, the art of performing, and the sound that you get out of different kind of recording sessions.
The concept for this was also similar to the way we did it for Vasks, because there was a piece of music at the beginning.
Yeah.
So the same way we had voices for Vasks, what was the piece of music and how did that work for Rachel?
This is the interesting part, because there we really collaborated together, because she was composing different kind of pieces of music. So she sent us different cues, and it was first just things that she recorded with her grand piano and some very basic scores. But what came across from early on was the essence, the melody, the thematic material was so good and already super touchy. And then we had some back and forth and decided for one piece, and then we asked her to select the instruments that she would use to orchestrate. Then the idea was to recording this piece of music at Teldex, and to use this as a foundation to build the Tides collection upon.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about this piece of music that Rachel wrote for the collection. I was there for this one day at Teldex, and we did a really wonderful interview with Rachel, and I can definitely say I came away from this interview being extremely inspired. I think I talked about this at the keynote last year, but it was a wonderful experience, so we're very grateful. And we want to play you a little bit of the interview video right now.
Choosing instruments is incredibly important. I think of the different instruments in the orchestra as characters. And over the years, I've come to know what they can do and what they don't do so well. It's endlessly fascinating to me, even though it's been being done for centuries. They're just playing, it's to give it some breadth. And then at the end, all I've done is I've taken the bass over an extra bar. I'm very fond of clarinet as a melodic instrument. It's very soulful. It's not sweet, and it's not sad. It can be playful. There's so much that you can do with the clarinet. I love working actually with small ensembles where you can have, 12 or 13 instruments that are all really, really different. It's one of the hardest things to describe where music comes from, where ideas come from. Well, I don't think they come from me. I think they come from me listening for them or waiting for them, and I need to be in that space of concentrating and then letting go, really.
So, Tides by Rachel Portman is out now. Visit the OT web store, check out the audio demos, watch the other videos, watch the detailed walkthrough. All of the questions that you probably have about this collection, I hope are answered there. The regular price for the collection is €499, but as always, we're doing an intro offer. So for the next 2 weeks, Tides by Rachel Portman is just €349.
Yeah, and this leaves me to say thank you, especially to Rachel Portman for this amazing collaboration. I must say this is really some kind of a peak point in my career to be able to have this exciting collaboration, because I really love Rachel's music, and I really were working on this for several years now to get this happen, to build this new orchestra with her together. And of course, I want to thank the entire Orchestral Tools team. And I really want to thank you for watching this little keynote. I hope you're enjoying summer, and I hope we will see us soon again. So take care and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It's one of the hardest things to describe where music comes from, where ideas come from. Well, I don't think they come from me. I think they come from me listening for them or waiting for them or asking for them. I need to be in that space of concentrating and then letting go. I think of the different instruments in the orchestra as characters. And over the years, I've come to know what they can do and what they don't do so well. I think it's a musical language. It's the way I make up musical sentences. It's the way I put instruments together. It's the way I orchestrate for strings. I love working in film. It's those melodies that then combined with the film sort of create something bigger than what they are on their own.